The Australian icon Holden ceases to exist. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I've got my lunchtime stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at this article from caradvice.com.au sent to me by a viewer about the Holden brand ceasing to exist. Now Holden started in South Australia as, I'm just checking my numbers here, in 1856 as a saddle manufacturer. Moved into the automobile industry in 1908 and even built the Model T. By 1931 it was already a subsidiary of General Motors in the US. It was originally known as General Motors Holden Limited or Holden Limited in 98. I had family who immigrated to Australia from Germany, got off the boat in South Australian Adelaide and worked for the Holden factory. Generations of Australians have worked for the Holden factory, particularly in South Australia. There's a big German community there. You get some really good liverwurst as well. So this is an old Australian brand, but you've got to remember it's been owned by the Americans for nearly 100 years. So it's kind of sad that it is coming to an end. And we have to realize this will also have an impact on a lot of the manufacturing no longer exists here in Australia. What about the showrooms and the retail car selling businesses all around the nation? Because car sales, if we have a look here at figures, were not trending that well the last time we had a look at it. Total vehicle sales were less and weaker than in the past. The Holden brand will be retired at the end of this year. Selected showrooms may stock a limited range of Chevrolet vehicles under the new General Motors Specialty Vehicles badge. Holden will be axed in Australia at the end of 2020, just 3 years after the end of local manufacturing and the lowest monthly sales since it was established in 1948, as a US car giant General Motors gets out of right-hand drive markets globally. What does that tell you? If they're getting out of the only normal, sensible way to drive, which is right-hand driving. I mean, okay, that's just the stab at American viewers. Although Holden has been posting record low sales, which led to the end of the Commodore and Astra models late last year, the announcement has still come as a shock to industry veterans. Now the brand has lost its final lifeline. General Motors will also close its Melbourne design studio and test track at Lang Lang on the southeast outskirts of Melbourne. Approximately 600 of the 800 jobs will be lost, with all being awarded redundancies. 600 jobs gone. And this is, that would be in the industrial design, car design sector as well. That's a tough gig. That's a really tough game. Here in Australia, industrial design is highly competitive. Well, it is highly competitive everywhere, but there are very limited opportunities. I studied at QUT, that's where I did my architecture degree, and there were industrial design people going through the course there, only about 30, and it was always tough for them to get opportunities in this country. The remaining workforce of 200 people will take care of Holden's ongoing service and warranty commitments for up to 10 years. How would you feel if you're in a business where you're essentially running out the clock? I guess you'd be happy to have a job still. But do you think those 200 people would be looking at alternative opportunities? The gentleman who sent this to me, he works in the industry, and sales were keeping him going. But the boss is calling a meeting this afternoon, so I hope he'll do okay. Holden management informed head office staff and dealers about midday today. An official media statement from Holden is forthcoming. A high-ranking company insider claimed the agonizing decision had only been made in Detroit in the past 48 hours and that General Motors had every intention of reviving the brand following the end of local manufacturing, as evidenced by the introduction of the US-based Holden Arcadia and Holden Equinox SUVs and the upcoming Corvette sports car. Our intention was to turn around the brand. There is zero blame to the local team, said the high-ranking General Motors official. The decision about Holden is all about investment priorities. Well, I mean, the car industry on a global level has been doing, frankly, terrible. So I think we're going to see more and more of this. 600 people in Melbourne out of a job. It's going to be interesting to see the unemployment figures when they come out later. General Motors has been making a slow retreat from other right-hand drive countries over the past 3 years, getting out of lucrative markets such as the United Kingdom, Japan, India, and South Africa. The three main remaining right-hand driving countries were Thailand, Australia, and New Zealand, but General Motors says it has become unprofitable to develop new vehicles for such a comparatively small markets. Globally, more than 75% of all vehicles sold are left-hand drive, while right-hand drive countries account for the remaining 25% of sales. However, car companies have less opportunities to recoup their investment because the cost of design, engineering, and to develop left and right-hand vehicles is the same. Maybe we need to have center drive vehicles. So General Motors specialty vehicles. With the Holden name to be retired by the end of the year, General Motors is considering a new sub-brand called General Motors Specialty Vehicles that would sell select US models, most of which will be converted to right-hand drive by the company formerly known as Holden Specialty Vehicles, which currently imports the Chevrolet Camaro muscle car, Chevrolet Silverado pickup. The Camaro and Silverado are currently being sold through 65 of Holden's 204 dealers nationally. It is unclear which of those dealers will continue under the GMSV name and new arrangements. While the new deal would initially apply to existing models such as Chevrolet Camaro SS, Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, Chevrolet Silverado 2500, and upcoming Chevrolet Silverado 1500, other models out of the US are expected to follow. Options include the Chevrolet Tahoe, suburban 7-seater SUVs, as well as certain Cadillac SUVs that share their underpinnings. There's also the possibility the electric Hummer pickup, due to go into production in the US 2 years from now, could be sold in Australia some time down the road if converted to right-hand drive locally. The introduction of the GMSV sub-brand also solves the problem of what badge to sell the iconic Chevrolet Corvette sports car under. It is due in Australian showrooms next year, but will be factory built in right-hand drive. Its rear engine layout made the conversion easier and more affordable on this model. So there we have it, guys. Some of the comments, as expected. You're very vague and sounding. Yes, General Motors specialty vehicles. Yeah, I mean, is that going to elicit any emotional loyalty from people? Do you think it will? I'm a General Motors specialty vehicles type of guy, or a Holden versus Ford. It's the end of an era, guys. It's an end of an era. I feel sorry for the people that are finding out today if they're losing their jobs. Hopefully the people in the sales showrooms can find other opportunities. Their skills would generally be transferable. One thing I'd suggest some people, if you're good at sales, have a look at being a trade rep for building materials, construction materials. I know that's also a challenging industry, but it may be something you might not have considered. Going out there, using your skills, meeting people. I feel worst for the 600 to 800 jobs in their design studio. I think that's definitely going to be a challenging sector to find work in this country. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the comments below. Will you be rushing out? Do you think this American converted vehicles for us Australians, do you think it's going to work? Anyway, guys, take care. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're a fan of the channel and want to help us out, there are a few ways you can. You can share the videos on social media, helps increase the spread. You can support us on Patreon or Subscribestar. Or no, not Subscribestar or YouTube. We also have the referral links for Amazon and eBay for your consumer purchases, Independent Reserve and Kucoin for your crypto trading. We have merch that we sell on the HeiseSays website, handmade pocket squares. And finally, we have PayPal if you want to contribute that way. Thanks to everyone for supporting the channel. Thank you to everyone who sends me these type of articles. It helps while I'm busy drafting away during the day, and helps me keep up to date. It's sad news, guys. Take care. See you next time.